Hello everyone, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. Welcome back. This is now part 8 and we're getting near the end now of the build of this lovely little Airfix Typhoon FGR.4 Eurofighter. So there she is, all painted up, and you can see the pre-shading I did coming through the paint. It's just a very, very subtle hint, and it just adds a bit of interest to the look of the model because it makes everything look kind of just blotchy, breaking up the surface a bit. You can see it more underneath where it would be dirtier anyway, and you can add oil streaks and everything if you want to. I don't know if we'll bother on this one. But the next thing to do now is look at doing the we've done the nose. I've done the nose in a slightly darker grey. I think that was Mr. Hobby 306 I've used on there. It's just a slightly darker grey. Some Typhoons appear to have the nose lighter in colour, some appear to have them darker. The Humbrol callouts, for some reason, they've got barley grey for the nose and then a lighter grey for the back, and I'm sure Eurofighters were painted in barley grey. I could be wrong. I don't really mind. It's a plastic model. It doesn't really matter. You know, if it was a big 30-second scale masterpiece or something, it would be a different story. But this is basically a little starter set model. It's nothing to worry about too much. So we're going to look at doing this back end. So we're going to get some metallic colours down here. Now, when you look around at pictures, you can even see it on the box art here. You kind of have a lighter metal colour here, so we use like a metallic gunmetal or something there, maybe do it silver and then overgo it with a gunmetal colour. And we've also got this back here, the exhaust petals are actually darker, and then we'll put a wash on them. I'll show you how to do that, and we'll make them look all interesting. Now, before I do any of this, I want to seal the model off, ready for decals, and I'm going to give it a gloss coat. And the reason I'm doing that is you can put decals down on matte paint, but there's always a risk of what you call silvering, where you get a silver line running around the edge of the decal where the carrier film is. So we've got to be careful not to get that. So to really make it sort of go down well and know they're going to go down nicely, we need to give it a gloss coat and make the model glossy. It also seals the paint in, it gives it a hard shell, ready for any future weathering or anything like that. And then after the decals are done, we'll give it another coat of clear, probably a satin clear, and that seals the decals in, and we'll talk about why we do that when we do it. But the first thing to do is give it a gloss coat. And you can hear on here, because it was a very warm day yesterday when I painted this, you can hear it's not too bad, but it's a little bit grainy. It's probably worse on the fin. You will get worse in corners here where the paint blows around. So what I'm going to do is take a 2500 grit sponge, okay, any very fine sponge will do, and just very lightly just go over it once or twice, just like that, and that will, you can hear the difference probably. Yeah, it just literally, it's just denibbing the paint. Just a couple of strokes. Some more down there, and then go down the sides of the fuselage here. And it's just taking away the roughness in the paint. Okay, if I'd used Tamiya paint, it would probably be a lot worse than this. Tamiya can be awful. What you can do is put retarder in your paint. If remember, I did this with Outlaw paints, and I'm not sure how well the retarder would work with that one. Just basically the retarder makes it dry slower, so it gives it a chance to level out. The other thing you can do if your model is really bad is take Mr. Colour Leveling Thinners, this one here, neat into your airbrush, no paint or anything, just this on its own, into your airbrush, and paint it on, and just don't soak it, but you just want a wet coat, and that will kind of help to level it out as well. But you mustn't touch it for ages and let it dry thoroughly. There we go, I think that's good enough. Let's just take off some of that graininess. I'd already done the wings before I put the camera on. Just go over them again. It's just taking off the graininess. I'm using a sponge so we don't get any edges getting lifted or anything, or getting highlighted, you know, by removing the paint. So there we go, we can see there, that's all looking lovely. There we go. So that's ready for a clear coat. Now, There's a couple of really good clear coats you can get. This one here, this is Alclad. It's now made by a company called AK, and it's called A-Stand. But this is it's the same company making it in the UK. They're just bottling it in a different manufacturing warehouse. This is Aqua Gloss, it's called, and it's a very good gloss varnish. You can spray this down with your airbrush, and you must never shake it or stir it. Just leave it. You just use it as it is. It doesn't settle. You can see there's no settling or anything. You do not shake it or stir it. Well, this one here, this is the gloss version of the VMS varnish, and I struggle with this. I have a little bit of an issue getting on with it, but I'm going to try it again. Okay, we'll see how we get on. Because I know this, you can get this from Brooks Models, and I know some of you complain about me going on about Brooks Models all the time and this, that and the other, but Rob is a great guy. He's got a little business, he's a new starter, and I'm helping him out by promoting his business, and he's helping you guys out by giving you a discount of 10 or 20% off your purchase by using the code NMB10 or NMB20. In the description below is all about it, and yeah, so that's why I keep talking about it. It's not because I'm going corporate, it's because I'm helping a guy out who's starting up a new business. That's why. So I'm going to give this a go. I'm not going to spray this on camera because I want to do it in the booth, so I don't be breathing in fumes. And I will see you back when I've got this done. I mustn't forget to do those little canards either. See you in a minute. Now then, as I said, I really struggle with this stuff, with the gloss. The satin and the matte are absolutely amazing, but the gloss stuff, it's almost like, how can I describe it? It's almost like you haven't degreased your model when you spray it down. It all sort of separates and stuff. It goes down very, very pebble dashy. This, you can just about see it in that wing, I expect. And if you put it down lightly, you just get like a very dry, misty coat on there. I knocked it back with a little bit of the VMS thinners. But you can see on here, it all sort of separates. And I just can't get on with it. I think I'm not going to use it in future. I'm going to go back to my Aqua Gloss, I think. As I say, the satin and the gloss are absolutely amazing. But it's fairly quick drying, and as I say, you do put it down, and you can see here where it's kind of on the back edge of this elevator here, elevon, whatever you call it. It's puddled in that back corner there. You can see it's just puddled at the back edge, and that I think will just pull down. It will pull down, but it's very, very funny stuff to use. It looks a hell of a lot better now than it did when I first sprayed it. You can see this is all pulling down, and the panel lines are all there. So yeah, don't fear when you spray it. It goes like that, and it looks all sort of separated and horrible. Don't worry, it's not you. It's the paint. You can see we've got where it's been upside down. You can see it's pooled there. I've probably put it. It says use a 0.4. What I must try is doing it with a smaller nozzle, because I got a feeling it's putting it down too heavily. You can't sort of build it up. It's all or nothing. It's very strange stuff. Maybe if some of you out there have used it, you can tell me how to use it, but there's something I'm doing wrong probably. But yeah, as I say, the satin and the matte, brilliant. But this one I just can't get on with it, and it's me. It's not the paint. It's me. But there we go. So we'll leave that to dry for a few hours. It's the story of my life. And then once that's all properly hardened off, any areas where we do see any puddling, we can just flat back, and then we can look about getting that back end masked up and perhaps doing some decaling. Maybe we'll do the decals first. Okay, so approximately 24 hours later, and as we can see, it's all dried. It's got a bit of a sheen to it. We're not worried about it being too glossy. It just needs to be a smooth surface for the decals to go down on, and it's not too bad at all. As I say, this VMS varnish, I cannot get on with it. I had a bit of a pooling there, a little bit of a pooling there, and I've basically come on with a 2000 grit sanding stick, just wetted it, and just lightly go over and just remove the puddle, just like so. And that'll look great. Underneath a coat of flat varnish, it won't even notice, even if you didn't touch it. But just done that. And also, if you remember, on the bottom of here, I had a bit of a pooling on there where it had run. But I mean, I thinned it. I thinned it with the VMS thinners, and I don't know. I'm just going to have to practice with it, I think, and see what I can do, because I just cannot get on with the stuff at all. Which seems very strange, because as I say, the matte and the satin are absolutely brilliant. So we're at the point now where I'm going to get some decals on here, decals if you're in America, and then let them dry, and then give it a sealing coat to seal it all in. I mentioned to you that I'll discuss why I do that. The reason is when you put a decal down on the model, it is, say it's a roundel, it's a circle of film that's actually glued onto the model, so obviously it has an edge. If you then come to weather your model with washes and stuff, anywhere where there's an edge, a panel line, whatever, a scratch, the wash will go into that and enhance it. So what you'll end up with is little lines around your decals. So basically what we do is we put the decals down and then we put a sealing coat over them so that you actually seal the decal in so it doesn't have a sharp line around it. So that's what we do, and I'll probably use a satin varnish on this one, and then give it a wash and stuff as well. So let me get myself ready for doing the decals, and we'll do a couple on film, and then I'll turn the camera off and get it done. Alright, so we have here our decal sheet from the kit. This cutting mat is just being used to protect this blue paper from the water. I've got a little old dog food container of water and slightly warm. Got a couple of brushes there, a pair of tweezers, a fresh brand new cotton bud, and a pair of scissors. And what I'm going to do first of all is, as you can see on this decal sheet, we've got these partition lines. I'm just going to cut along there, okay, just to make it into the separate areas that they're actually giving us. And what I'm going to do here is cut away the lettering, okay, because that will come, it won't have any backing film on it, but it will come, oh, it does have, yes, it does have a carrier film, so it'll come off like a decal, but I don't want that to be on my model, so we'll get rid of that. We'll throw that away. We've also got the protective paper that was on the front. We can get rid of that, throw that away. So we now have 3 individual decal sheets. So if we start, we've used number 1, which was the instrument panel. And we can see on the back of the box here, this is the box that the kit came in. Usually this would be in the instructions, but on starter sets it's on the box. So you can see here we've got a guide, and all the red rectangles denote where decals go. So you can see number 2 here is the slime light that's going on the side here underneath the cockpit. You've got a clear raised area where that decal is going to go. Now these decals are made by Cartograph, I believe. Yes, they are. They have the Cartograph badge on the box. So they're going to be very, very good, and they will go down very nicely. Now, my tips for cutting decals is never use a knife, always use scissors. The reason being, when you use a knife, you raise an edge when you cut, and it makes the decal difficult to slide off the paper. So use scissors, and it leaves you a nicer edge to come off. So we're going to cut that out of there like that. So there's our number 3. We'll just do one at a time. Sorry, number 2. And if you see this number 2 on here and those black dotted lines, they will come off the paper when it's floated in the water. So we don't want those bits and pieces hanging around everywhere. And also here, I'm going to cut that number 2 off as well, because that will also come off. And then what I do is put those out of the way, and then with the tweezers just dip that in the water for a few seconds, and then just sit it there, and it will start to come off. Now I'm going to use decal setting solutions. You don't have to. I like to, just to make sure we get the decals to go down well. So I've got here, this is micro set. Okay, that's the micro set I'm using. And then here in the red bottle we have micro sol. And what you do is you put this micro set down first, lay the decal on top of it, it aids the adhesion. Then we go over the cotton bud, get all the air bubbles out, put some more micro set on top, let that dry, and then put micro sol, and that makes it pull down into the surface. Okay, so this brush is hardened with the old micro set on there. So I'm just going to put some on there. It doesn't need to be a lot, just put a few drops on there, just like so. And then we can take our decal and check that it's ready to go. We can see that it's not ready to go yet. That's unusual for Cartograph. They normally go very, very quickly. So as soon as it's ready to go, it will slide easily on the paper. I'm just going to give it a few more seconds in the water. This is very unusual, I must say. Normally they go straight away. normally when you have this problem with them not going straight away, it normally means you've got old decals. But these can't be old because this is a newly released kit. Very strange. Okay, let's try some more water. Oh, no, I can't. This is crazy. There we go, it's gone now. Right. So what we can do is literally hold the bottle in our hand, place the paper down over where the decal's going to go, and then literally pull the, oh dear, pull the paper out from under the decal. You can see here the trouble I'm having. There we go. Put the paper straight in the bin, and then using tweezers we can move the decal around. Don't push it down, just move it around so it's in position, and then we can come in with a cotton bud and just gently push it down. Okay, and then what you can do is roll over, but you need to be very, very careful. This takes some practice. What you're doing is rolling it over, but what you're not doing, what you don't want to do is spin on the surface because you'll move the decal. You just literally roll it over. You see, I need to reposition it now because it's moved it. It's going to be very difficult to reposition. I'll get some water on here. Get it wet again. We may be able to move it, we may not. There we go, it's gone. Okay. Sorry guys, I had to pause there. I had a frog in my throat again. There we go. It's just moved again on the back there, just a touch, move it down. There we are, that's gone down in position on that rectangle, the raised area. Lovely. And now what we're going to do is just get some more micro set onto the brush and just brush that on and let that do its thing. Okay, and we just do the same thing with all the decals and go along. So the next one is number 3, which is here, and it's a roundel. So number 3 can come off the paper. Be cut out, should I say, not come off the paper. Just like so. We'll get rid of the number 3 again because we don't want that floating around in the water. Take our tweezers, a few seconds in the warm water, put that down, and just wait for it to detach itself, and then we'll position it on the model. And I'll do the same for the rest of them, and I'll come back when it's all done because you've seen me. Well, I'll do one more, and then we'll call it a day. We'll get the rest down. Okay, it seems these decals, I'm going to turn the camera off because these decals seem to take a while to release themselves from the paper. Back in a minute. Alright, that roundel's ready to go now, so I've just put a drop of the micro set on there where it's going to go. So what we can do is just get put the decal in position with the paper and then just pull the paper out from behind, and you can see there the decal is actually on the model. I believe it's in the right position. Looking on here, it's just behind that panel there that you can see. You can see on the box art there it is there, so that's cool. So it's just behind that. We're just going to move it down a touch. There we go. So that's in position now. As you can see what happened there, it moved when I rolled over it. So I'm going to get some more water, rehydrate it, move it back up. It really is best to just, before you start rolling, just push the decal down with the cotton bud. And as you see, I'm doing it myself, even though I've been doing this for bloody years. It's very, very difficult to get yourself used to actually rolling the cotton bud over and not driving the cotton bud over. You see, now that won't move again now. I'm going to leave it where it is. I'm not going to mess with it. Just roll the cotton bud over, push all the excess liquid out, push the air bubbles out, whatever, You can see that's gone down on there beautifully. That's the beauty with cartograph decals, they are the best. Okay, so put some more micro set on there and just leave that to dry. And as I say, I'm going to go on and do the rest now, and I'll come back when it's done. Okay, the sharper-eyed amongst you may have noticed that I missed something. I didn't do the top of the fin or the leading edge or that square on the back there, which is shown in here. You've got the darker grey here and the darker grey there. So I've done those the same colour as I did the nose with the 306. So we can unmask those now and see how they look. Get our tweezers under there. Give that one a little tug as well. There we go. As you can see, we've now got that darker panel on there, as denoted by the colour callouts. And also here I've put a piece of paper there, so I didn't put tape over that decal. Okay, might get some tape there. There we go. Everybody loves to see unmasking. Here's Dotty. Hello Dotty, what do you want? What's this here? What's this here? Let's see. No, she's not interested, right. So here we go, there's our fin with the leading edge and everything. So now we can wait for that to dry and we can get the decal down, because that's how I noticed there's a decal here, another slime light going in there, and I noticed that leading edge was a dark grey. Oops, I missed that. So I did this with rapid thinners, so it should dry fairly quickly, although Mr. Hobby does tend to take a longer time to dry than any other paint. But, give it an hour or something and give it a go. Right, back in a bit. Okay, so they're all done. All those decals are down. So what we can do now is take the red top of the red bottle, the micro sole. I'll use my red brush, and we'll just basically just brush this on over the top wherever there's a decal, and that will help them to really pull down. Okay, it's not so important on a model like this, but when you've got model, you know, like a big roundel on a Spitfire wing or something is going over panel lines and rivets and stuff like that, you know, this will actually make the decal pull down and give that painted on look. So there we are. So that's that. Just got that roundel underneath. I didn't put any on there, did I? And what that'll do, that'll really pull it down. I've also noticed as well some other bits I've bloody missed. There's the leading edge there of there's a little intake down here. That's got to be that darker grey. And on these wing pods, there's got to be the darker grey as well. So I'll do that with a brush in a minute. But because the Mr. Hobby paint does brush very well. So we'll get that done in a second, and then I think we can basically call it a day for this video. And what I'll do in the meantime, I'll get a clear coat. I'll let this all settle down for a few hours. I'll get a flat coat on it, or a satin coat, and then when we come back for part 9, we'll do some weathering. I'll see you back in a second and we'll get this bit of painting done. Okay, so we're just painting these little areas as called out by the instructions. So I've got my Mr. Hobby aqueous paint here, 306. So just going to paint round there. And that side there, so that's that done. Just make sure we get the front as well. So that's that done. We've also got to do these pods as well. So we've got 2 different pods. So this one has the nose. Painted in the darker grey. Just like so. And the tail of that one as well. just like so. Nice deep panel line, so we don't have to worry about masking and stuff, because it's easy to see. Leading edge of that one. And there we go. So I'm going to check now, see if I've missed anything else, because it's ridiculous how much I've missed. Got leading edge there, we've got leading edge of that, the nose, that panel there, the leading edge of the fin. Okay, and that's that. It also looks like this this little antenna on the bottom here has to be painted black. They're not calling it out, but it looks like it does need to be painted black. So there we go, that's that all done. Right. I wonder if I've used the right paint yet. It's 306. It's such a slightly darker shade. It's hardly noticeable, but anyway, that's that done. We can get a piece of tissue paper. We can just clean our brush. I've got some there we go. I've got some solvent here in a jar. Just give our brush a nice clean. It looks like I had some residue of some other paint in there as well. That's cool. Right, so that's all clean. Job done. Okay. That black piece underneath, take a Tamiya pot. I'm going to take some Viejo Model Air, which is brilliant for brush painting. Viejo. I can thoroughly recommend the black and the silvers for brush painting, they're awesome. So we're going to come along here and just paint in this antenna on the bottom. Just like so. Get the trailing edge of it. And there we are. That's that painted. And what we can do afterwards is come in with a cotton bud, a toothpick with a nice sharp end on it, and just, yeah, it's too wet, and leave it till it's drier, and then we can just remove the excess of paint that I've got down there if you feel like you need to. So the other thing I'm going to do while I've got this black paint here is go up inside here and just paint inside these exhausts. I know for accuracy and everything they shouldn't strictly be black, but this is just going to be a base for working on. Get some more paint on here. And then once we've done our clear coats and everything, and our weather, well, once we've got our clear coat down, we can mask up and get these metallics done on the back, and then we can start putting some washes down, and that will be it. Complete. I'm just going to remove paint from there. Just literally want to just get a base coat down, just a base coat of black inside the exhaust, just so there's something there to rather than the grey plastic. Right, so that's done. So I will now go on. What I need to be careful of is putting it down on the wet paint on there. So I will come back in some time I'm not sure what time it will be, but I will be back, and I'll have this clear coated, and we will go from there. We will do the exhaust, and we will do the metallic part in front of the exhaust, and then we'll do some washes and stuff, and hopefully you'll come back and watch that one. So I'll see you soon for that. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.